那时候我不是跟你讲了咯，他到不懂几时的时候，还是以为在 MRI。bro not MRI。
所以我很担心他这种 blur 的哦，会不会 you know what's the worst that can happen 啊？
不要听哦。
啊？
这样跟他讲哦，很简单的 ，AI call you 啊 ，remember 啊 ，say no time 啊，就可以了。
所以我就算你的 TCM 你 OK to 去 for 你的 manual IPA 哦，因为可以跟签我嘛。所以我会用这个来跟我自己也有 PA 的 AI APA 的那个可以
一定要下去。
所以你跟我有两个，我就会用我们两个 as 两个 customers to pitch 那些 TCM。我的 pitching 的 reason 为什么呢？我要他们 share customer。
我现在有给你哦，我先给你先，反正我都可以 claim 回来。
对，因为每一个 PA claim 对吗？都是一个 pair 的嘛。你有的 claim physio， 你也有的 claim TCM， 每一个 PA 都是一样的。所以为什么你只让你的 client 只 claim TCM 对吗？你不是浪费那个 physio， 反正你跟我合作对吗？我以后有 physio 的对吗？我 refer 他们去你那边做 TCM。
哎呀，你哪里做 refer 呢？
怎么讲呢？
我朋友那边的 TCM。
如果不是 AIA 的 PA 的话 ，OK， 因为我现在才发现，我现在才知道，那天昨天 customer service 跟我讲说 AIA 是有 TCM panel 的 ，Manulife 没有。
OK， 我 clear 掉了。
所以我可以 claim 3000 for TCM 对吗？我就得去那些。我就得去 panel 了，我自己习惯去的都不在 panel。
不变。
哇，那个 flu 很 flu-y 啊！我又没有打喷嚏，可是觉得整个头西北重。
It's going around 吗？
啊
？It's going around
你也是这样啊？
大 S 刚死耶。
对咯，昨天啊。
是 flu season 嘛，跑不掉的。
每年的2、3月、2、3、4都是这样的。
And another statistically proven example that the COVID vaccine is useless.
马瑞应该会 defend
一点点的啊，怎么都会碰到一点点的啦。它是influenza strain 来的嘛，它怎样都会有一点点 defend 的。It might not be directly the thing 啦。然后又不像 stick venom 这样哦，你跟我讲 stick venom 是 very particular 的呀，只有这个 species 可以用这个 anti venom， 剩的 species doesn't work。No such thing as general， yeah, but 它是 under influenza strain 呢 ，simply don't believe。
คุณพร้อมหรือยังเราพร้อมแล้วนะออกเดินทางได้
大 S 那个人很快啊。
谁？
大 S 好像2、3天前就有一点 symptoms 了，然后2、3天就走了。
influenza 是这样的吗？你中了，你进 ICU， 你爬不出来就是死了，不用看的。That's influenza 啊。
他的是变成 pneumonia
啊。你很快的进 ICU 就懂了，very fast one，no need to endure。
他们一直讲，如果有 send 他去大间的 hospital 就不会有事。
ICU 吗？吊水这些东西跟 COVID 一样啊。你 COVID 你进 ICU， 你有 enough care 的话是会有事的。那mortality rate 少到不可以再少哦，夸张了。但是问题是太多人生病了 ，just too much people sick。
他跟你做了什么全班呢？今天除了外面的
里面做那个烧烧，
多少烧烧啊？
火力。
แล้วเลี้ยวซ้าย ใน2
嘞，我很讨厌这种人的嘞，有 parking lot 就 park 在里面呐，在这边聊天讲话。睡这么难啊？对我来讲，10分钟是不够的。
撩晒，
拜4或者拜5可以 drop by 吗？一样吗？比较
I see first。因为现在我们可以 remote 了。
怎么讲呢？
我们现在可以，我们可以 remote， 我们可以做 video 找出单的，我们很 confident 的，我们不管了。
啊
Good for you, good for me
你
also。
confident 咩？
啊
撩晒，
一个礼拜做1-2次还是 safe 的啦。
啊，等第3次不用管了啦。
啊
因为来你这边很麻烦，我不驾摩托，我没有地方park。
因为我讲我 cover 你 parking 了吗？
不要啦，
撩晒，
还很多人在这边。我不要 claim 不要，park normal HDB 的，比较便宜一点。你看到？
因为
要不见掉了。
放 HDB 很远。
走咯，我都早点来咯。不见掉了，赶快拍照先，拍照3年。等你晚上你挨嘎接掉上面，你跟我讲哦。
对，大概
stand by 一下，
这1-2天哦，越快越好，不然啊，
天天做啦。
要不然等一下我的 corporate account 差不多要没有钱了。都被那个11月多友军的 customer 突然全部没有来了嘛，11月尾到现在2个月那个胜利几头交了，然后我们这里的 claim 全部都是等 claim 出来才还钱，对吧？哇，人又要给 Physio 工钱的。
你马来人那个单你照打先啊，真的你照打先，要打出来。
我不会给他一个礼拜这么多次的，因为
都给他很多天了吗？
对咯。
啊，
大概给他1个礼拜1次2次1次2次这样而已啦，好，因为反正2000很快就用完了。
7张单呢吗？
大概7张单，你1个礼拜2次。
你要的话，你6张哦。
对，
因为还有 doctor fee 这些东西，最后这样也是 claim 不了多少，马上不要浪费掉。你还是要报 income 的嘛。过啦。
他这里扣到来的话也赚不到多少钱，对吗
？1000多
块
，1000多块咯，1000多块也是钱。
Thank you。
你把那个 Marina Bay 的那个有来，你跟我讲。
为什么？
我make effort to 看他长。
下个拜二。
下个拜二。
它只是那个有一点调的感觉啦，它不是那种。
H 来。
啊
？H。年龄。
83年。OK。Thank you。谢。
OK， 拜拜。加你。
嗨，加你。
When it grew to become the largest UFO investigation organization in the world.
MUFON now has thousands of members. They have state directors and field investigators covering the entire United States and indeed a number of other countries too. And unlike the way in which things were done in APRO days, MUFON's model involves giving a lot of autonomy to the states. They organize their own conferences, they handle research projects, and they literally get boots on the ground and go out and investigate.
These organizations became very popular because there was an overall change and shift in the thinking thinking of what these phenomena were. People were now coming out and looking up to the skies just to look for the possibility that there could be something out there, understanding the potential of what these objects could be. According to ancient astronaut theorists, aliens have been visiting Earth throughout mankind's history. So why is it that so many people in the mid-20th century suddenly became obsessed with finding evidence of extraterrestrial encounters? Some suggest that the aliens themselves may, in fact, be responsible for this increased awareness.
Carl Lawrenson's setting up of APRO and Walter Andrus's breakaway organization MUFON, all of these were inspired by personal UFO encounters. So could it be that there was more than chance alone at work here? Could it be that some force was somehow targeting people like Carl Lawrenson and Walter Andrus? Is there an overseeing presence that lies behind these apparently chance encounters?
Could it be that while extraterrestrials have kept their presence concealed from humanity at large, they have chosen specific individuals as emissaries that will ultimately reveal a greater truth? And if so, might their plan to reconnect with humanity have been set in motion in 1934, when 9-year-old Coral Lorenzen first spotted a strange object in the sky? Perhaps further answers can be found by examining efforts to not only find evidence of extraterrestrials, but to contact them. Delaware, Ohio, August 15th, 1977. At Ohio State University's Big Ear Radio Telescope, astronomer Jerry R. Amon conducts research for SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. While reviewing recorded data, he detects a highly unusual signal originating from the constellation Sagittarius.
They're looking for this bandwidth of 1,420 megahertz. Specifically, they believe that this bandwidth corresponds to water, and that intelligent civilizations might encode the electromagnetic frequency of water with a detectable signal. So there's Jerry Amon on the Big Ear telescope doing his SETI work, and a 72-second burst comes in on the 1,420 megahertz signal. 72 seconds of very bizarre static that does not look natural. It looks artificial. It looks like something that was radio static. It comes in from the sky and it bounces off that big reflector there, that first one. Okay, that's a mirror for radio waves, and that redirects into this secondary reflector on the end, on the nose there, and then they're directed to the receiver, and that's inside. That information goes through a fiber optic over to the control room. So this is where the data coming through fiber optic kind of ends up after it's been processed in a display like this.
And what are we looking at right here?
So we're looking in this case at 3 star systems at once. Okay, that speeds up the search. It also allows us to determine whether we're really seeing ET or just interference. The one of these star systems is being displayed over on this part of the screen here. This is called a waterfall plot. That, can you see that line of brighter dots there? Yeah, that's a slightly more static at that frequency, slowly going down the dot. That's the kind of thing we're looking for.
So if this here were an actual ET signal, how would it differentiate itself? Would it be a bit thicker, a bit more pronounced, longer, or what are you looking for?
It could be all of those things. So what you do is when you find a signal like this and you make a test, you'll just move the antennas a little bit and see if the signal goes away. And then point it back at the star and see if it comes back. You say, well, that's looking promising. We'll do that again. If you do that 5 or 10 times, you start to get excited.
And they come very soon.
The well signal continues to intrigue people. So we are going to use the Allen telescope array to re-observe the well signal, look at the same spot on the sky, look over a wider range of frequencies, and if there's something up there that's still broadcasting, of course we will find it.
Well, SETI has yet to find an explanation for the WOW signal. NASA's Kepler telescope team has continued to search for signs of alien life in other solar systems, despite the U.S. government's open denial of extraterrestrial contact. In September 2015, after more than 5 years of research, members of the Kepler team revealed some incredible findings coming from the star KIC 8462852, also known as Tabby star, named for the astronomer who discovered it.
What we see from Tabby's star is changes in light output that are not attributable to comets, to planets, to asteroids, or to other fragments that would orbit the star. We're seeing present very high dimmings in the light that can be as much as a 21% reduction in the luminosity that's coming out of the star. Now we have the scientists who are publishing papers in which they propose that one of the explanations for what they're seeing is a massive extraterrestrial construct akin to something known as a Dyson sphere. A Dyson sphere is actually a gigantic structure built around a star which harnesses the energy of the star and could in fact be used to travel from one place to another within the galaxy. This story is a total game changer because it suggests that a Type 2 civilization, a civilization that can harness the power of an entire star, actually does exist, and we can see it with our telescopes.
Is it possible that astronomers hunting for habitable planets may have accidentally discovered the first extrasolar civilization? And if so, why does the U.S. government continue to deny extraterrestrial contact? While the true cause behind the light patterns coming from Tabby star has yet to be discovered, ancient astronaut theorists suggest that world governments have ramped up the hunt for extraterrestrial life because they already know it exists. Toronto, Canada, September 2005. Paul Hellyer, who served as the Canadian Minister of National Defense from 1963 to 1967, makes worldwide headlines by announcing his belief in the existence of UFOs, and that the United States government has made great efforts to conceal knowledge of their existence for decades. To date, Mr. Hellyer remains the highest-ranking government official to ever publicly declare this information.
conclusion that there are issues here so profound for the future of the United States and the world that they have to be discussed openly and intelligently. And one of them, of course, was the possibility the U.S. could get us in an intergalactic war. And so I decided that I should speak out. UFOs are as real as the airplanes flying overhead.
This was actually paralleling something that Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the surface of the moon, suggested, that there were multiple alien races visiting the Earth.
This is not unknown knowledge. There are people that know, and there seems to be many different, perhaps several different species of aliens visiting here, and it looks like they have been for a long, long time. People in the military have witnessed UFO operations around our military facilities, and there have been quite a number of reports of attempts to destroy some of our missile tests and the missiles in flight. They are not particularly pleased, the alien visitors, with our warlike capabilities and our nuclear capabilities.
UFO researchers have suggested that the US military has secretly built an installation on the surface of the moon to help combat an alien threat. If there are extraterrestrials visiting the Earth and they're potentially hostile, it would make a great deal of sense that we would be prepared for this.
A secret military installation on the moon? Could such claims, along with those made by former Canadian Defense Minister Paul Hellyer and Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell, really be true? Perhaps further clues can be found by examining recently declassified documents. July 20th, 2014. The United States Army declassifies and discloses one of its biggest secret missions, Project Horizon.
Project Horizon's mandate was to create, by 1966, 3 years before the first NASA landing of men on the moon, a military base which could hold at least 20 individuals and which would be expanded on over time as well. It would be nuclear powered, it would have its own water supply, oxygen, and it really would be the moon equivalent of a military installation.
The feeling was, from Wernher von Braun, from NASA, and indeed from the entire government, that space would become an important battlefield. We talk about conventional warfare and how that would play out. It's fairly clear that if there is another war, that space will be a battlefield.
The United States has been working for a long time